Hi everyone, it's Tammy, and today I'm going to make this card with you. It says for a very good friend, and then it's just plain on the inside, but oh my goodness, I think it turned out so cute. And I have to give credit to the person that I got the inspiration from, and honestly, it was almost more than inspiration. Her name is Grace, and she can be found on Instagram at all by Grace C. So it's I'll try to remember to link it below. Goodness, I hope I do. If I forget, please tell me. But it's all by Grace C on Instagram, and she made a card very much like this. There's a little bit of difference, but honestly, I pretty much cased the card from her. And so it's not my original idea. Even the coloring, I just loved it. And I thought, ooh, this is perfect for a fall sweet card to send to a friend. And I might even send one to my daughter, even though it says friend, because she is now my friend too, which is fabulous. I mean, and you know, I guess you can say she's always been my friend, but when they're younger, you want to, you know, they're your kid, but oh well, that's enough of that. So what I need to use for this is the Fairy Garden by Hello Bluebird stamp set. Super cute. And just so you guys can see, I've already stamped the background and I have some of my stuff down here, but I have not colored anything and I haven't die cut anything, so I'm leaving that for you guys and with all these colors out. But I did go ahead and stamp the 5 stamps that I need to stamp out of the set. But there's other fairies. It's really a cute stamp set, and then it also has die cuts, and I already have those out as well. And I also used a piece of vellum, so I've already gone ahead and cut this as well. And then I already put some embossing powder on this, and I'll get to that and show you. But that's all I've done so far, along with the base. So for the base, what I did was I just put the 3 elements that were plain. So this little leaf, a flower, a little leaf here, and a flower. I took those and just put those on my block and just randomly stamped. And sorry, I did both of them. I wasn't thinking. I was in a meeting and I was just paying attention to the meeting, but I went ahead and was stamping at the same time, and I got further ahead than I expected to on this card that I was going to show you guys. But anyway, it's just simple background stamping, and then I'm taking a piece of cardstock to put on the inside. So, sorry for the long introduction to the card, but it is worth it, I promise. It is such a cute card, and it really didn't take that long once I got everything out that I needed and all of that jazz. The coloring probably takes the longest. The background was kind of fun to do. This inside is cut at 4 by 5 1/4. It is an A2 sized card, so it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 when it's closed. So that's what the actual size of the card is. And I'm just using a piece of orange cardstock that I had in my stash, and then I put the white background. So let's go ahead and do some coloring. I'm using lots of different colors, but the basic feel is kind of the orange and green kind of a feel, and I think it just turned out so cute. And I have some coffee that I needed a drink of. So I'm going to start by coloring my little fairy. And I am no expert at this. I am just showing you what I do so that you guys can kind of color along, or if you guys have tips for me, please share them. I have 2 different colors of, I don't even know, these are Copic markers. This is an E00 and an E11. There's Barely Beige and Cotton Pearl. I'm using those for the face of the fairy and her, or the body of the fairy, I guess, her arms and legs and her face. And then, let's see, I'm going to use, let's do her, I'm going to use 2 different colors of purple for her dress. So I start with the lighter one, which I think is this one, but you really can't tell sometimes with these. These are alcohol markers, but they're Fine Color, the brand. And sometimes it's really hard to tell much of a difference. Okay, this one's darker. So I'm going to take my lighter color and color the whole dress. And then I'm taking my darker color and just going over wherever I think would be darker, like underneath the collar. I'm just doing one side as for light and then this side a little bit. I think that's probably good. And I'm kind of putting them away as I go just because I think I'm done with them. And if I'm not, I'll have to just pull them back out. But I think I am. So just to get some of the things off of my counter. Oh, and let's do the hair. I'm going to start with a lighter brown. This one is called Dark Suntan. And then this one is called Copper. And I'm just kind of going in on her hair, just different places. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing with this one exactly. I have fun coloring, so that's kind of what I do with some of this, especially like with hair and stuff, because I'm really never sure. I could use some practice and some help, but I don't know. I think it always turns out all right, so I guess that's why I don't mind sharing, although I do want you guys to know that I'm not an expert. And so once I have her hair decent, then I can move on to her, let's do her wings. And I started out with a really dark color and did that really close to her body. And then I took my colorless blender and kind of started to blend some of that out just because it was so dark, but I like the dark. I just wanted to blend it out a little bit more. And then, let's see, I used some other grays. I have a really light and then so then I took my next darkest gray and I just tried to blend that in. This one looks like it's darker than the one that I put down, so I'm just going over the areas again. Crazy. These markers are silly. Okay. So I want it to go kind of an ombre from darkest to lightest, darkest being close to her body. And then I think that this one was even lighter. Oh, nope. So it kind of gives it a neat effect going from lightest to darkest. And I'm kind of going to use that same theory for the leaves and the little flowers and the mushrooms too. So let me start with the, well, let's go ahead and do the leaves. I'm just taking a green, I didn't even pay attention to which green it was, to do the stems. I think this might be the lighter green. I have 2 different greens. Oh no, I have 3 different greens. So let's put them all on here so I can see what colors I have. So 61 is the darkest, followed by 60, followed by 59. So that actually is the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to go lightest to darkest, but sometimes you can't trust these markers. So I have the lightest right now. So I'm going to go ahead and color the whole leaf with the light color. And then I'm going to take the next darker color and then I just colored like half of it. Of the bigger leaves. I'm going to do the same thing with the other side, but I guess first I'll go in with this darker color and just do the very bottom of these leaves. Alright, so now I'm going to take my lightest color and color all the leaves. Alright, and then I'm going to do the same thing where I take the next darkest one, color half of the leaf, and I'm doing kind of the bottom part of the leaf. I don't know. Actually, on this one, I think I'm going to do the top part. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just picking the one that I think looks better. It's kind of funny. The minute I tell you something, I change it. Oh, I forgot to color these, so let me get... my green. My green. When he's whining at the door. And then I'm going to take my lightest color again and just go over some of this area just to blend it all in. Alright, so then I think I've got all the green done, so let me put the lids back on. 61, 60, 59. I won't put those up yet, I'll just put them here to the side, but I think I'm done with them. I'm going to take another drink of my coffee. I realized I forgot to color her little color. So I'm just taking one of the grays and coloring that as well. All right, so now let's move on to the actual flowers. And for those, I'm using different colors of orange and then also a yellow. So let's see here. That's a really bright orange, dark orange, and a darker orange. So I guess that's the way I'd put them. And then my yellow. I think I only have one yellow out, but so on my yellow, I'm just taking that and I'm putting it on the tips of the flowers. I'm not going to color the whole thing with it. I'm just coloring the tips. And then I'm going to move to the lightest orange, not the bright one. I'm going to try to do this, not try to. I don't think it's the bright one. Oh, good grief, maybe it is the bright one. Okay, I want this one, the kind of the dark one, but not too dark. The medium dark one. There's a darker orange that I'm going to use at the on the back side. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of putting these, and this worked on the last card, so that's why I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to show you guys this technique because I thought it was kind of neat. I hadn't really done it this way before, where I'm actually doing almost like candy corn, it looks like. And then I took my darkest, which I think is this one. Just double check, yes. And then I'm taking my brightest and I'm going to color now the whole kind of thing to help blend in all of the colors. And we're not done yet. It's weird how this, and I didn't go all the way to the tip of those, and I left those two little points yellow. And then I took my darkest one and I kind of went over and that was really kind of the neat thing with these alcohol markers. I don't know. They like layer on top of each other. It's really neat how they work. I don't know whoever came up with them or learned that it did that, but I think it's awesome. It seemed like the last time I did this, it was a little bit easier to see the different colors, but for some reason, because I'm showing you guys, now it's not quite that way. So now I'm going to take my colorless blender and I'm just going to pull up some of the different color within the flower. There we go. We're seeing some of the other colors now. And it just kind of gives it a neat depth perception. I don't know. I think it looks pretty cool with the different colors kind of peeking through. And then we're going to put some white on it too here in a little bit, and that will even make it even neater looking, I think. 163, 161. So I think I'm done with those. Oh, and I didn't put pink on her cheeks. I meant to do that. Oh, I don't want the darkest one. I want the lighter one. Okay, and then now for the... Oh, I put the oranges over here, and I'm not done with them yet. And I'm not done with the browns either, because I have to do the mushrooms. Oops. That's okay. No problem. Let me do these little flowers, because those are also pretty easy. I have two kind of aqua colors. Trying to find my darkest one. My darkest one is the one at the bottom, or is this one, so I'm going to put this at the bottom toward the stem. And then this lighter one, just blending in the darker and then putting it out toward the ends. And that's super easy. That's it for those. Let's do this little love bug. So I made him kind of a dark blue, so I just colored some of him, most of his body, I guess, dark blue, but then I took my colorless blender and blended that out a little bit, especially toward his, where his belly would be, like I'm leaving it a little darker out there. I really used my colorless blender this time, and I don't always do that. And the same, I'm going to do his little head the same way. I'm making this part darker. And then I'm going to take one of the lighter colors and do the rest of his head. But then I'm taking my colorless blender again and going in and trying to blend it all with that. So his body is kind of a dark blue and his head is kind of a gray. And then I also want to take the color out of his little spots. And sometimes with the colorless blender, I have noticed that it like makes the line of my black ink go really wide. So I don't know why it does it sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. I use the same ink, but and then I'm going to take, oh, I don't really like that bug. It didn't seem to go as well this time. I might have to do him again. That's okay. Let's worry about the mushrooms. I'm taking my lightest brown, and I'm going to do the stems of the mushrooms. And then, actually, I think I do want this light skinish color. Actually, they could all be skin colors, but this light, what's it called? Cotton pearl. And then I'm going to take my dark orange and just kind of go over some of this brown. And then I'm doing kind of the same technique with this top part of the mushroom. want the lighter orange. This is definitely a darker orange, so I guess I'm doing it opposite the way I told you. These pins are throwing me off today. There, that's doing better. Then I'm going to take that light brown again. Okay, let's see if I can save this little bug guy. I don't think I can. I think I'm going to cut him out again. Or not cut him out, but stamp him out again. Have my scrub out from earlier. Oh, that goes over here. All right, so let's color him again. Let's try this again. And I stamped him twice just in case. So I needed the black on his little head and the blue on his little body. And the colorless blender to help spread this out. Maybe that's what I did. I colored it all first and then I used the colorless blender. I think the first time this is how I did it. And then I will take a lighter color and go in with its little head. And the dark color again. That's not the dark one. Where's the dark one? Oh, here it is. That looks better. So then I did take the colorless blender and I took the color out of these dots. And then I did take a green color. I shouldn't have put it away. And then I colored the green dots. The chair's squeaky. Okay, so now I think that's probably good. It's just And then I'm going to take my white pen. I'm going to go over the sides of the mushrooms and the sides of all of the images, actually. And something that I thought was really cool on her wings was that she put little dots all along the first part of it right there, and I think that just turned out really cute. So I'm doing the same, and then I'm going to take some white and highlight some of the parts of her hair, but I kind of go a little nuts with that, and I had to take my brown marker and go over some of it again, so I'm trying not to do as much as I did the last time. Oh, crazy. And then I'm going to kind of do the same thing with the flowers. I do think the flowers turned out pretty. How did I do these? Let me look. Okay. Do that and then. All right, I think that just adds so much. It really just makes it look so much cuter. I don't know how that works, but it sure does. So I definitely would do that. Gosh, he's kind of looking crummy too. Okay, I'm going to do this one more time. And I'm not editing any of this out because I want you guys to know that it is okay to make mistakes. So I'm going to go slowly. Maybe I was rushing. Sometimes I do that. And then I'm going to take my black. I don't know, this bug does not want to color very well tonight. Dumb bug. I never did like bugs. Let me put some white on him and see how he looks. that one isn't savable. This one's not horrible. Maybe I'll go with him. So I'm going to take that green one more time. And make sure these whites are dry. They aren't dry yet. Well, this bug certainly didn't turn out as cute as this bug did. I don't know what the heck I did differently. Okay, I'm breathing. I'm breathing. I'm breathing. And I'm going to stamp this little monkey one more time. It's the same ink I've used. I didn't think I stamped it all the way. I was on that. Just trying not to push too hard. Okay, so there's my guy. I just don't like how the line is blending so much into the rest of the image. You can't really even see his arm anymore on these. His little arm that sticks out back here. It's lost in the shuffle. So let's try this again. And I think it has something to do with the colorless blender, so I'm not sure if I should maybe not do it so much this time, or maybe not do it so soon this time. I don't know. I'm thinking I'm going to heat it up, so make sure that's dry with my heat gun. And then I'll take my colorless blender. Then I'll take my light gray. I'm going to take my colorless blender and I'm going to try to pull out the dots again. And then I'm taking my green. I just see something that may contribute. I didn't use the right green, but I don't think that's such a big deal. Okay, his belly isn't as colored as the other ones, but you know what? I'm not going to mess with it because it's at least kind of done. Of all of them, that one certainly looks the best. So let me go ahead and do my little highlighting on his little head and his belly. And I'm calling him good. All right. Whew. So now I'm just going to die cut all of these. And I actually kind of left these on here because I used my Misty when I stamped. And these are kind of hard to see where they need to go, so I figured if I kept them together, maybe it would be a little easier. Maybe not. I don't know why they make some dies solid like that. It's harder to see where they're supposed to be. Okay, I'm going to call that good. And then my little bug. Then my little girl and the mushrooms. So these are way easier because you can see. Alright, so I'm going to run these through the die cutting machine and I will be right back. I have the Big Shot Express, which is an electric die cutting machine, and I love it. Oh, sorry. Yikes. Pull the magnet out and just put these back as I take them off. So I said at the beginning that this card was pretty easy, and then I took forever trying to color it and screwed it up 16,000 times, so I do apologize for that. But I'm not going to edit it out, and I'm not going to not post because I screwed up, because I think that it's important that you guys see that, heck, this is crafting in real life. We all screw up sometimes. No biggie. And bottom line is, it's just a card, you know, even if it's a really cute card or for someone special or whatever. I mean, worst case, you can just do it again. And sometimes things just don't turn out the way you expected them to. That one's not. The first card I did was way better. Sorry, guys. Whichever of my friend gets that one, you know, is the lucky one. This one is just a little bit of a friend. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It will be beautiful. Do, 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 do. Okay, make sure all the little pieces are poked out of the flowers. And my vellum. And I need some pop dots. So the first thing I decided to do was put the vellum down, and then I thought, well, I'll put the sentiment on top of that, but I kind of didn't like the sentiment. I don't know, it's pretty. I like the border, and I did use some scalloped borders for that. I liked that, but I wanted it to be more toward the end, so I just cut it off. So I just took my cutter and just put these together. And it doesn't even necessarily have to be together, just as long as you get them off of there. There, I think that's good. So I stuck this onto my vellum first using some glue. I have a visitor. Hi, Mr. Whalen. What is my boy doing? Mama's doing a video and I'm screwing up. So I just put that on there first, and then I'm using this area to hide my pop dots, and I'm putting a few pop dots down on the vellum. And I will put more underneath the things that are on there, but since I don't know exactly where those are going yet, I'm not going to put those on. But I'll show you how I did that with a little pick. So after you've removed the backing, you can put this down, and it just fits right in the corner. And then I glued this down. And I did emboss that with some cobalt blue embossing powder from Stampin' Stuff. Stampindus, I guess. And I just used Versamark to stamp the saying that says, "For a very good friend," and then I used this embossing powder, and I've had that in my stash for who knows how long. And then I'm going to take the little guys and kind of position them where I think I want them. Oh, where's my little bug? Oh no, this bug is going to be the death of me. Here he is. So I want this over here, and then the fairy to be kind of in front of that. And I do want the bug on top of the mushroom, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Cover that up a little bit like that. And then this, kind of like that. Okay, so I'm going to put, this is going to be a combination of pop dots and glue. Goodness, these pop dots don't want to come apart. These aren't like cut. How weird. I'm just not having very much luck on this card with you guys. Sorry about that. So I'm just putting a pop dot on the top of this flower, but I'm not going to put any at the bottom. I'm going to actually use glue on the bottom, so that the top part is raised up, but the bottom part is not. And I just think that gives it a neat little dimension. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue underneath here. Okay, and then I'm going to put some glue on this. And he's all on the vellum, so I'm just gluing him straight down to the vellum, or to this paper, but none of it's raised. But I'm going to take a pop dot. I think I am. And my little poker tool. And I'm just going to push him in underneath the bug, under the vellum, so that you can't see it, but the vellum is helping to hold that up, and it's raised. And I'm going to do the same thing with this guy. Put him down first. I need some pop dots underneath the vellum of this part, but then this part I need pop dots if I want it raised, which I do. So I'm going to put some pop dots underneath the flowers. This just helps ensure that you can't see the adhesive through the vellum, which is not always pretty when you can. And if you're spending so much time on a card, I'm going to put one more pop dot underneath his little petal here. And then I'm going to take a pop dot. Put it underneath the vellum here. Just to help hold that up. And then I need to put a little bit of glue on the bottom of that too. That'll just stick to the vellum. And then finally, my little lady, I'm going to stick her about there. So I need a pop dot under to here. And she's pretty big, so I can kind of eyeball this one, I think. I was going to try to stick it under with my finger, but that's not going to work. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just putting it underneath there, holding it, and then leaving it out. So then when I put her down, she's on the pop dot. Whoo-wee, this card seems like it's taken the... Whew. Usually card making is stress relieving, but I feel stressed with this one for some reason. Sorry, guys. And then I took some of my little, oh, what are these things called? Sequins. And I'm putting those in random spots. And I think I'll use 5. And let's see. Oh no, I want one about here. I want one about here. And if you take your little pokey tool, which I have used a lot today, all right. So sorry it wasn't the best tutorial, but I guess it's more of a make-along, showing you what I did. And maybe you learned some things not to do. But all in all, I mean, if I look at it now, just looking at it, it's a really cute card. It actually is really, really cute. So hopefully, even with the mistakes, it looks decent and you guys like it and can appreciate it. I think it is really cute. So there we go. Yay! That makes me feel better. Whew. All right. Well, have a wonderful day. And I'm not stressed, I promise. I'm better now. I feel better. I just had to release. But it is really cute, and I think it turned out adorable, and I think that anybody that got this would really love it. And sometimes, you know, I think that we're harder on ourselves than we need to be because we know what we want it to look like, and it's not looking like that. But if we think about it, nobody else knows what it's supposed to look like. So, you know, they're looking at it with fresh, clean eyes, and to them it looks great, even though it's not exactly what maybe you had in mind. So that's something to keep in mind too. So thanks for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye.